ingredient. Now, there are some sneaky sources like dressings or condiments, candy. You got to really read every label, understand what's in the products that you're putting in your body if you want to avoid that muddy stuff. So take the corn out for 1 week. If all of these symptoms are still there, what you want to do then is reintroduce corn back in. Okay, that's not your enemy.
So for 1 week, you got rid of corn.
Yes.
You saw the symptoms, you put it back.
Yeah.
And then we go to?
Then you go to wheat.
Okay.
Wheat products. And you're going to do the same thing. So
what do you do specifically? Cut out the wheat?
you cut out the, anything with the wheat in it, even whole wheat. It's like, oh, I'm not doing wheat, but I'm doing whole wheat. They're that same thing. Just put it, take it all out. Okay? So you want to say any pasta that's made with wheat, bagels made with wheat, crackers, bread. Take out any wheat ingredient. Okay?
What do you replace it with?
And you're going to replace it with oats, uncontaminated if you're not celiac, amaranth, quinoa, buckwheat, sweet potatoes, yams. This is the season, actually, to do this. So remove this. If you are then left with no symptoms, you're on the right track. Now, I started to actually, once I got to the wheat, after being symptomatic, I started to see less of the symptoms, but I wasn't totally there. So I had to go one step further and take out the gluten. So there's a difference, obviously.
Right. But once your gluten in your diet was gone,
yes.
how long until you really felt better?
I think I started to notice some symptoms disappear for a week, but about 6 weeks, new person. New person I was after taking it out for 6 weeks.
Can you all imagine that? A month, 2 months after doing one of these elimination programs and figuring out the culprit in your diet, to feel completely different, not have the problems with your mentation, fatigue, the allergies, skin changes. Forget about the intestinal issues. It affects so much of our lives. That to me is stunning.
It is stunning, and I think too, like, part of it is, it's a lot to put on yourself to take out. I think what's as important as knowing what you can replace within the time. I'm glad you asked me that. I think knowing where to go to replace the foods that you can have, even during that 1 week, is important. So every single one of these has a site link to your site. I know too that can help you. Like, I go to gluten-free like cans that I have. I call them all the things I can have. But you can find a resource to go to and see what the things that you can have. So this isn't a week of camp. It's actually just finding new cans.
Exactly. And if gluten's not your answer, then go through dairy.
Yes.
Same basic process. Give yourself, a couple months off that. Do the trial.
Yes.
And one by one, walk your way through the list. And finally, with peanuts, one by one, over the course of a month even, you can check to see which is the big culprit. Stay off those foods for a few months and see if it's changed your life for the better.
Now, what happens if you do go through all these and you still have symptoms? What do you suggest?
If you still have symptoms, there are many, many other foods that could be causing allergies, or they could also be combinations. But that's when I think you got to find a doctor.
Yeah.
And this is not any old doctor. You got to find a doctor who's a specialist in this area.
Right.
You see people who are allergists, intestinal doctors.
Yeah. So you can try to find a specialist. I also firmly believe in getting your primary care doctor in your arm. He's your primary care doctor. You don't mind this one bit, I'm sure. But if you get your primary care doctor arm in arm with you and to go through the process with you, because you're going to end up in the office, you don't want a surprise. You don't want your patient to all of a sudden say, oh, by the way, I haven't been having dairy for all this time, and then their blood work showing a deficiency somewhere. You want to be able to know what they're doing. I think, the doctor's not your enemy. You want them to be part of your process so that they can evaluate with you.
It always helps to nudge us a little bit.
Okay.
And to do that, a lot more information on the food sensitivity scale and how to eliminate and replace the food allergen that might be making you sick. Go to DrOz.com for that. Share it with your doc. Make a difference. Coming up, it's Hungry Girl to the max. The guru of guilt-free eating is back with their biggest book of recipes ever. She got tips, weight loss advice, everything. Up next, Hungry Girl Lisa Living, the guru of guilt-free eating.
I'm going to help you simplify your shopping and your cooking.
Amazing meals, plus 5 grab-and-go essentials. How to save time, boost flavor, and cut calories. The doctor